Hey, YouTube family, welcome to another sponsored review. This time we have a semi-stable coin, and I'm going to explain what that means. It's called SEND token, SDT, digital money. You guys can join the whitelist today. Public pre-sale is going on right now. Jump over to sendprotocol.com for more details. And let me tell you guys, I am very excited. I don't normally say this about companies that I review. I review companies that I think have great ideas and that would benefit you guys to look further into for sure. But there are very few that I come across that I'm very excited about, and this is one for sure. We're going to get into the details of it. I did a video about a month ago, and it was regarding Bitcoin Pizza Day. I don't know if you guys remember that, May 22nd. I did a video, and the whole premise behind that video was I think as this cryptocurrency market matures, we will start to finally realize, I've already realized this, but the masses will begin to realize that the idea of using Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, any of these tokens on a daily basis is unrealistic. What I mean by on a daily basis, I mean to buy consumer goods, whether it's brick and mortar or online. We're not going to want to use our tokens on a daily basis for that type of transaction. The simple reason is because these tokens, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, all of them, most of them, I should say, the major ones I should put emphasis on, have a limited supply. Therefore, by nature, these tokens are deflationary. So it almost makes sense to hodl these types of tokens versus using them to purchase things that in the future you could purchase at much cheaper prices. And so to get back to the whole reason I brought up my video from the Bitcoin Pizza Day is because on that day, I believe 9 years ago, a guy spent 10,000 Bitcoin back about 9 years ago on 2 pizzas that he bought using Bitcoin. Well, guys, that Bitcoin today is worth roughly, at the time of this recording, is worth about $61 million. So what does that mean for us? That means we need a mechanism, an infrastructure where we can use cryptocurrencies for daily usage and have a semi-stable price mechanism in it, where it's not fully pegged one-to-one with the dollar. There will still be some price appreciation, but at least within a time frame, a day-to-day time frame, that this currency will be worth this much. And you won't see those wild swings that we see with the cryptocurrencies that we hold on a daily basis. So the company is SEND, SDT. That's the name of the token, SDT, and it's a semi-stable digital money. I want you guys to check it out, sendprotocol.com, and let's pull up that website right now. So as you guys can see here, the pre-sale is ongoing right now, and at the current time of this recording, the fixed price is 14 cents USD for the SDT token. I want you guys to just quickly watch this video. I love playing these types of videos when the companies have them because it's a concise way of explaining what the project is all about. And this one will really do a great job because there are some very complicated moving parts to this mechanism. It's not just a token. They have some very complex algorithms to keep the price semi-stable, I should say. So check out this video. We'll keep on with the deep dive.
It's not a secret that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have a problem. They go up, they go down, and they do it without warning. Businesses accepting crypto often see their collections lose value, and migrants sending cryptocurrencies don't know what amount of their earnings will reach home. However, this is not an unsolvable challenge. Serving as a reliable medium of exchange, SEND SDT is a stable token designed for people's daily lives. SEND has replaced speculative market forces with a consensus price mechanism based on real use, holding a stable and predictable value for limited periods to protect you from volatility. Each consensus period, a new SEND price is calculated based on transaction volume and network liquidity. Send can be purchased during a year-long token distribution, where price will move in real time based on real usage and network growth. Any unsold tokens will be burned daily. To demonstrate its power and practical value, Send will be released into circulation in WeSend, where it will act as an efficient unit of exchange for tens of thousands of migrants carrying out transactions worldwide. WeSend is a live peer-to-peer marketplace for remittances and will be the first of many applications to take advantage of the practical value that Send price stability and predictability provide. Claim your tokens today to become an early adopter of the first consensus token, Send SDT.
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that brief introduction to Send. I should have highlighted the major points. One being that I'm really excited about is the fact that they have a ready platform, a vertical where this will be utilized, or is being utilized right now. Actually, they have like 80,000 signups under WeSend.co. Check that site out. And essentially what WeSend.co is, think of it as a competitor to Western Union, MoneyGram, those types of what we call remittance networks. That is going to be just awesome, I'm telling you guys. So we're going to look at WeSend, that the initial or first vertical that Send token will implement and roll out. But before we do that, let's take a look at how the Send protocol actually works. So if we scroll down here under the how it works section, it says use SDT to send, store, pay, and exchange value without volatility risks. The SDT algorithm analyzes network liquidity to discover new temporary stable prices for limited periods of time. So as you can see, the graphic to the left there, stable rate per limited time. The SDT token holders enjoy periods of stability using the Send network of apps. It's backed by Consensus, so that means that the Consensus network app integrates the SDT consensus price as a minimum for transactions. Liquid value. Each new consensus period has a transparent formula that analyzes the token use to discover a new SDT price. Forecastable growth. When volume and liquidity increases within the consensus network, the SDT value expands. So that's what I mean by, guys, it's not a strictly stable token like you have with USDT or TUSD, which is a new one that just launched. This still gives you upside potential, which is great, but at the same time giving you that medium of exchange. Is, say if I were a merchant, I would love to use this and be able to know, hey, I know I have this price locked in for X amount of period. I give you an example. In this last run up to $20,000, and we've seen how far we've come back down in Bitcoin and in the altcoins as well. If I were a merchant, this would be horrible for me. If I were accepting large sums of Bitcoin during the peak, if I have $1 million of revenue at $20,000 Bitcoin and I didn't allocate out of that Bitcoin right away, or even I'll give you another example, when we had a flash crash, that really hinders us, and that doesn't allow a merchant to really forecast revenue properly, because it's always a gamble as when you accept these cryptocurrencies. So in that scenario where I sold some goods or services at $20,000 Bitcoin, well, now that revenue, if I didn't sell my Bitcoin, I've lost more than half of my revenue from those sales at that particular time. On the flip side, yes, the consumer would have walked away feeling good because they were able to buy those goods or services with less Bitcoin at $20,000 versus today, where they would have to use more Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash. So it goes both ways, but this type of platform, the Send protocol, will help balance out that and make it more of a realistic way of using cryptocurrencies and transferring value to one another. So let's take a look at what this consensus protocol is all about. And so there are two avenues in which you can use this token. One being within their ecosystem of applications that that developers will be able to create, and then you have the non-consensus sphere where you don't get that price guarantee. And so that, to me, that's a very unique way, and it really incentivizes developers to work with the SYN protocol. So within the consensus network, using the SDT within the SYN consensus network, users are guaranteed the SDT consensus price as the minimum for transactions. To the contrary, non-consensus apps and wallets will not have that price guarantee. And so the first vertical that this SDT will be utilized is inside of the WeSend app. This app is live now, guys. So jump over to WeSend.co. We're going to take a look at that right now. But this app is a P2P money exchanging network. Again, as I've stated, very similar to what MoneyGram and Western Union provides to countries all around the world. This app, WeSend, already has 9 countries using this. So I'm going to show you guys the demo walkthrough with this WeSend.co app powered by Send protocol. And it starts off with saying, I'll leave a link to this so you guys can check this out in the description of this video. But it says here, welcome to the WeSend demo. Explore how the WeSend P2P marketplace facilitates reliable exchanges using the SDT token and the SDT consensus price as a minimum reference value for stable transactions between users. So it then goes on to say here, the traders around the world publish their SDT buy sell offers using rates at or above the SDT consensus price. Users may see offers in multiple currencies and with multiple payment methods. So they do also, we click next, have an express mode where it analyzes the available offers and discovers the most competitive rates for you. You can do that with the express mode and it will quickly give you that best rate. That's great to see. So you don't have to go through and try to search and find the best one when you're trying to send money. So then from there, you just select the payment method to continue the transaction. And ideally that rate would have been quoted, would have been given to you in the previous step based on that payment method. But if you hadn't selected one, then you select that right here. You've got cash in person, bank transfer, cash deposit, PayPal, so on and so forth. They give you a few. Even WeChat is available there, and Alipay. Those are huge overseas. And then from there, you enter the recipient's information, select how the recipient will get their cash, and boom, hit continue, and you're all done. You're ready to roll. And again, this is live now. They've got 85,000 pre-registered users, and they went live this week. So we'll see how those volumes look. I think they'll post probably next week the first week's statistics on how WeSend is looking. But this is awesome, man. This is the way of the future. These are real use cases for cryptocurrencies, guys. So again, this is what I'm envisioning the cryptocurrency markets looking like in the near future, if we're going to use them on a daily basis. So this is a strong competitor to, in my opinion, your MoneyGrams, your Western Unions. Like, it used to be that we thought that Bitcoin was going to be that. And now as this market has matured, I think all of us can, or most of us, some of us still have our heads stuck in the sand, but most of us can see that Bitcoin will not be that technology that eliminates Western Union, MoneyGram, and their very, very high fees to send money, and many times send money to and fro countries that are low on the scale from an economic standpoint as far as their citizens making a living. So those types of platforms are really exploiting the people that don't already have the money to live as they should on a day-to-day basis. So Send protocol, I think, really will bridge that gap, and I want you guys to check this out. The other thing I want to go over about the Send protocol is how the consensus price mechanism actually works for the Send protocol. So let's take a look at that. If you click on Why Send, at the top there, it'll take you to this section, and it says here, SYN replaces volatility with a transparent consensus price mechanism based in network liquidity for stable use within a network of integrated apps. So this is what I was kind of explaining to you guys earlier. We scroll back up about how you get that price stability within the consensus network. Those apps that are using the SYN protocol will receive this benefit, and it kind of breaks it down here. It says before a desired 7-day consensus period is established, 2 equal distribution stages will help to identify the proper coin supply and price. So if in the example to the right here, an upper bound of 20 cents USD has been defined as the maximum price for the stage 2 initial price formation. That's for public distribution, and we can take a look at how that formula looks. It gives you more of a technical understanding of how that works. So this is, token sold is the variable here. So that's what this output price is based on, how many tokens are sold within that window. And then for the 7-day consensus price duration, this is the increment or the increase, how that is determined here. Very complicated but useful algorithm or formula they're using to determine the price of these SYN tokens. These tokens, what I do want to highlight, this token does not have the need for an audit because it's not backed by, if you give, for example, we talk about USDT, Tether, there's a lot of drama behind and questions behind the use of Tether, and if they have the dollars that back it, this is not a collateralized token, so there's nothing backing it. It's all based on mathematics and formulas that this team has come up with, which is very unique. I like this approach better. It eliminates a lot of the audit regulatory issues that will be presented there for those that are backed by a particular fiat currency. So that's great to know. And again, I just want to highlight that it is free from volatility risk on a day-to-day basis, and the price base is in liquidity and network usage. That's kind of where it derives its value. So let's take a look at their roadmap. We're currently in Q2, and we're in the phase of token launch. They'll be developing the SYN API this quarter as well, and in Q3 they plan to roll out the consensus network, which we talked about earlier. One thing I do want to really point out is that they're launching this on the Ethereum network. This will be an ERC20 token, and they put a lot of emphasis on this, is the fact that they're going to be building their own or migrating away from Ethereum onto their own blockchain in 2019. So I was very glad that they are doing that, because I don't see this scaling to a worldwide use case under the current Ethereum network. So that's great that they are forward thinking with regards to building their own blockchain here. And they plan to do that in 2019, which is only about 6 months away. So they're probably working on that right now. So here's the token distribution with this pre-sale: 25% to the foundation, 24% to the corporation, 10% to bounty reward pools, 7% to the team and advisors, 1% towards transactional costs, and 33% toward the crowd sale. That's what's going on right now. The use of proceeds are broken down to the right. So I want to double back to the WeSyn.co website, because one thing I failed to highlight when I first mentioned WeSyn, the first app to launch on the SYN protocol, is that they're actually going to be promoting and testing this app in Venezuela. And what better country to promote this? We all know that Venezuela is going through a massive currency devaluation, have been for years now, and so this is a great test bed for the SYN protocol to be rolled out. They're going to be launching this in this country because of the high demand for digital money in cross-border transactions. A little bit about the scope of Venezuela's economics. So they've got a population of about 32 million citizens and an estimate diaspora of about 18% globally. Estimate cross-border transactions, get this, $2.9 billion in US currencies a year. And so the principal remittance corridors are Colombia, US, Spain, Chile, and Mexico. So they've launched this. They're doing some tests, and as you can see here, a few of the top sellers on the WeSend platform have already been, their orders have already been filled. They're grayed out here. We can go and browse and see all of them currently. They've got a lot on there right now, but again, quite a few filled already. As I stated, they launched this week, and the smaller ones are already filling up. So working platform, this is great. I think starting out in Venezuela, there couldn't be a better country to start with, in my opinion. So I want you guys again to check out sendprotocol.com. And before we wrap up, I do want to go over a couple of the FAQs. So let's take a look at that really quickly. So the first question I want to cover is, how can I use the SDT token? And it says the answer to that is token holders can use SDT to store, transfer, or exchange any value within WeSend.co or other connected applications without suffering value losses due to volatility. As the Send Consensus network grows, users will enjoy stable use with a number of intuitive applications that join the Send Consensus network and use the SDT consensus price as the minimum reference price for transactions. The other thing I want to show you guys, and I kind of went over this initially about it not being collateralized, but this question is, what distinguishes the SDT token from other stable tokens? And their answer is SDT is a temporary stable token priced using a transparent liquidity formula and supported within a network of intuitive applications to fulfill various uses such as cross-border exchange, store of value, and online payments. SDT is not pegged to any asset, but rather price stability is supported through the real use. That again, that is the biggest difference for any of you who are concerned about, what's going on with Tether or the rumors about what's going on with Tether. This would be a great alternative to check out. So that's it pretty much. Here's the team, but I will show you guys the partners that they have. Partners include, of course, we've already talked about WeSend, Punturit, ePayco, and Crypto Buyer, to name a few of them. Very solid project, guys. I want you to just check it out when you get a chance, and if you're interested, join that whitelist. And I forgot to show you this visual. I'm going to refresh the page so you can see how this works. You'll see the day one and how much available SDTs there are, and then you'll see the price at the bottom. I thought this was a very neat visualization of how the prices will work. And so day 3, it was 31 initially, now we're at 39, so on and so forth, now 41 cents. So that's how it works. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and check them out, sendprotocol.com. It's your boy Crypto Blood, and I'm out. Holla.